Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. The timestamps, as always, are in the description box. Let's get right to our stories. Story number 1. Opie wants to know, am I the a-hole for going to my soon-to-be ex-wife's family Thanksgiving dinner with my new girlfriend? My wife and I have been together for about 4 years and married for 3. I'm from the EU and she is from the US. We were living in the EU. Earlier this year, I discovered that she had been emotionally unfaithful via text with an ex-boyfriend. We started couples therapy. 2 months later, I discovered she did it again with a colleague. We decided it wasn't working anymore and decided to divorce. For the sake of fairness, I don't think she is a mean person. In retrospect, I think she was unhappy for various reasons and didn't know how to handle it. Over those 4 years, I became very close to her family, namely sister, brother-in-law, and father. During the early weeks of the breakup, I was quite devastated, and they helped me a lot, while not being very happy about what she had done. Fast forward a few months later, she is with a guy, I think, and I have a new girlfriend I like very much. Soon-to-be ex-wife and I are staying cordial and friendly with each other. I decided to forgive her to the best of my ability and move on. Her family has asked me to visit them in the US, something I would like to do as I love them very much. However, I don't want to go alone and would like to have my new girlfriend with me. Edit. I checked with them and they said they would be happy to meet her. I asked wife if she would be okay with it. She initially said she felt it was too fresh and would rather that I wait. During a second conversation about it, I told her that I felt I deserved to go, given how, despite the fact that she had hurt me so much, I have been very kind to her nonetheless, and that I'm still doing my best for the transition to go as well as possible for her. Papers for her to be able to stay in the EU, helping with insurance and whatnots. She then said it's okay that I go, as long as I don't stay with her parents with the new girlfriend. I said okay. I've now booked my trip and it's during Thanksgiving week. She won't be coming for Thanksgiving this year, and girlfriend and I are invited. And now she told me crying that she didn't know the trip was going to be during Thanksgiving and asked me not to participate at Thanksgiving. At the end of the day, I don't know if I'm being insensitive about it and shouldn't participate at the dinner, or if I'm being an idiot and being too nice with someone who hurt me deeply. Am I the a-hole for going during Thanksgiving week and accepting the invitation for going to Thanksgiving dinner? Okay, Opie, so are you sure you're not doing this to get back at your ex? I mean, Thanksgiving is pretty big in the United States, bigger than Christmas for most people. So this is a very important holiday and you want to spend it with the family of the woman you're about to divorce. And you want to take your new girlfriend along with you. Your soon-to-be ex-wife has told you how she feels about it. Opie, just don't go. If you want to go and see them and just say hello at some other time while you're there, do it and then just get on with the rest of your trip. Skip Thanksgiving with your soon-to-be ex-wife's family. Move on with your life, Opie. Let's get some comments. You are the a-hole. So you are breaking up her family and her support network for your convenience and to get back at her. Her parents are major a-holes. She should just go no contact with them and you. All of you are tacky and toxic a-holes. And someone else comments, how in the world is the new girlfriend feeling comfortable taking a cross-country trip to visit your ex-in-laws? Maybe the social aspect is different in your country. To me, that would look like you're not adjusting or letting go and would make the new girlfriend have reason to doubt your loyalty or interest in her. Do you want to visit the family of your new girlfriend's ex-boyfriend? I kind of doubt it. Yeah, OP, once again, I can only say re-examine your motives because I think there's a bit of revenge behind this. And on we go to story number 2. OP writes, my grandma, 65 female, and I, 21 male, get along really well. She is amazing. I love her and look up to her. That's why my perspective can be biased. I need some points of views to know if I effed up. My grandma had 5 children. My dad, 43 male. My uncle, T, 42 male. My uncle M, 35 male. My aunt, F, 47 female. And my aunt S, 30 female. With my grandpa, 66 male. Grandpa was a terrible father and garbage husband. An alcoholic who spent all his money on liquor, never supported grandma while she worked her ass off to provide for her kids as a baker. She got tired of it and kicked him out in the 90s. She stayed as single mom and only provider. Did he pay child support? No. Did he help her buy a house for his kids? No. Did he ask for custody or try to spend time with his kids? No. He only visited them once in a blue moon. Grandma and Grandpa never divorced, since my grandma didn't believe in it, and she was always a single mother. My grandma started dating William, 67 male, 2 years ago, but she didn't introduce him to her kids because she was afraid of their reaction, and I was the only one who knew about the, quote, affair, unquote. Grandma announced that she was moving to William's house this past July, and everyone was furious and started accusing her of cheating and that she was choosing her affair partner over her own kids. She was even hesitant about moving in with William, but I encouraged her because he makes her happy and he is a nice man. It's been almost 2 months and they refuse to talk to her or have low contact with her, and that is hurting her. She asked my grandpa for a divorce and he got mad at her and accused her of cheating. They were talking crap about her, they 6 at a family dinner. Thus I told them to grow up and stop acting like kids, since they are not. I told them that they should be happy about their mom's happiness because that woman dedicated her life to make life easier for them. And it's so unfair that they crap on her while praising my grandpa, who had girlfriends, by the way. They all called me the a-hole for not taking their feelings into consideration. And they say something doesn't feel right about their mom dating at this age. They accuse her of cheating, but that isn't cheating. They haven't been together for around 25 years. My grandpa had a couple of girlfriends. Yes, they were mad at him too, but it's time to grow up. Am I the a-hole for telling them to grow up? I think they need to understand that their parents ain't getting back together in case they have a hope, and that grandma has a right to be happy. I mean, she did her job already without any help. OP, I'm with you on this. You are not the a-hole, and I think your grandmother's children got so used to your grandmother making sacrifices for them and constantly doing what makes them happy that it's made them very selfish, and they are only thinking about themselves and what they want and not about her happiness. You are 100% right, OP. They need to grow up. It's time for your grandmother to be happy. Come on. And 65 too old to be dating? She's 65. She's not dead. Okay, let's get some comments. Not the a-hole. Legally, they're separated. Unfortunately, your grandma will have to divorce grandpa if she does want a marriage between her and William recognized under state and federal law. It's not an affair since they separated, married only by law. And someone else says, feel sad for grandma to realize that she raised such ungrateful a-holes. How utterly disappointing for her. Can they even name one instance where the father did anything of significance for them? Not the a-hole. And a final comment. Not the a-hole. It's not an affair since they separated. But tell her to get the damn divorce already. Yes, and I echo that comment. Get the divorce. Get it over. Move on. And talking about moving on, let's move on to story number 3. Opie writes, my husband and I adopted a dog 4 months ago. It's going pretty well, except for one thing. She's waking us up at 5 a.m. and we are exhausted. After trying a few tactics, we agreed yesterday that we would just strictly ignore her until 6 a.m. This morning, she wakes up as usual at 5 a.m., but instead of the regular licking our feet and jumping on the bed, she's whining and pawing at the bedroom door. We are still trying to toilet train her, and so I responded quickly and take her outside for a pee. She immediately does a massive pee and bring her straight back inside. The dog then settles back down immediately and sleeps until 6 a.m. Husband is pissed off. He said that I ignored what we had agreed to do and that I just do whatever I want, undermine the agreement we had and then make excuses later. On my side, I told him that yes, I would have ignored her, but her needing to pee is different. And while we are trying to potty train her simultaneously, we need to respond to her cues or risk an accident in the house. She's gone a week without an accident, and I loathe to break the streak. Also, the fact that she settled down after going to the bathroom suggests that I made the right call. So who's the a-hole here? Me for breaking the agreement, or him for being angry with me for making an exception to the agreement for a toilet break? Opie, so your puppy took a pee and now your husband is peed off. Actually, I think the toilet training, the potty training is going very well because your puppy knows to go to the door and knows to scratch at the door. So your puppy realizes already that she's not supposed to go in the house. She has to go outside for it. So that's actually going very well. I don't understand what your husband is complaining about. And I think it's really unreasonable and cruel for him to expect a puppy to hold it in for an extra hour when she needed to go right there and then. And as you said, she had a massive wee. So you know that dog's been holding it for a while. And yes, I'm sure you are exhausted getting up at 5 in the morning. But you know, that's how it goes when you've got a puppy and that's just the way it is. So let's get some comments. Not the a-hole. Puppies have small bladders. They cannot help it. It's cruel. Adjust your sleep schedules or train the dog to use puppy pads. Please never have kids with this man. And someone else says, next time your husband needs to use the restroom, lock the bathroom door and tell him he needs to wait an hour to pee. And someone else says, not the a-hole. Pretty sure it's not safe to let a dog hold it in for too long. If you waited too long, your dog probably would have ended up going inside the house. Would your husband clean up the mess if that happened? Story number 4. Opie writes, I spent my entire childhood living in unsanitary conditions, mainly roach infestations. For some reason, Mom never saw much of a problem with it and would not hire pest control. She would come up with any excuse not to spray poison because of her allergies. So I had to live with bugs crawling all over me when I slept at night, and I couldn't leave so much as a glass of water without something floating in it after 15 minutes. When I became of age, I moved out and met my husband. We made a home for ourselves and had a couple of children. Our home is neat and tidy and absolutely pest-free. When I take my teenage children to visit my mom, 2 very distinct smells hit your nose immediately upon entering her home: dog pee and cockroaches. Roaches do emit a scent if you have enough of them, and I recognize it right away. That, coupled with seeing them blatantly run around no matter what time of day it is. Needless to say, we don't eat at Grandma's. My children are polite enough to not say anything that might upset her. We make sure to eat something that is still sealed in packaging if she offers it, and not use plates, forks, or glasses. Today she decided to cook a special meal. She spent time and money on ingredients even though she's on a fixed income, elderly on Social Security. She was so happy handing me this huge Tupperware filled with dinner to feed my whole family. I graciously accepted it and bid her farewell. When we arrived home, my children walked with me to the backyard as I carried the Tupperware. I voiced how bad I'm going to feel for doing this. We all just looked at each other and nodded. I left the food out for the wild animals who will be visiting tonight. Oh, Opie, you ask if you are the a-hole for throwing away the food your mother made for you. And no, I don't think you're the a-hole because, first of all, you do feel bad about it. It's not like you did this out of spite or that you got any enjoyment out of it. You feel bad that you did this, but you have valid reasons for doing it. And I really have to wonder if there's some mental health issue going on with your mom, because I don't know how anybody can live with roaches running all over the place, and this has apparently been going on for decades. That's really not good. Let's get some comments. Not the a-hole for throwing away the food, but your mother needs help. Have you spoken to her? This isn't healthy for her or her dogs. Opie replies, Pretty sure there's an undiagnosed mental illness going on. Talking only brings on an argument, displays blaming and excuses that go beyond reason. Let's get our final comment. That food could have been extremely dangerous. Heaven knows what could be inside of it. Hell, the, quote, carrots, unquote, could be cockroaches, and the celery could be, quote, caterpillars, unquote. It's not safe to eat, especially not for young children. I just see a caring mother and daughter, as you did not hurt your mother's feelings, especially not in front of your children. Well, that's it for this edition of Wild Drama Stories. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, leave a comment, and I'll see you again soon.